And what if I told you that, at this exact moment, there is a ship docked to Earth, and that most people simply are not noticing it?
Not as a metaphor, not as an internet conspiracy theory, but as something that, according to various channelers and spiritually gifted people around the world, would be happening right now, in a silent and deliberate way. Let's talk about the Arcturians. For those who are not familiar with them yet, these beings are often described in spiritual accounts and channelings as an extremely advanced civilization, originating from the star Arcturus, the brightest star in the constellation Boötes and one of the brightest in the entire night sky. Arcturus is about 36 light-years from Earth, and those who study these subjects describe the beings who inhabit that system as one of the most spiritually evolved races in our galaxy. According to these sources, they would be guardians of higher dimensions, actively working as a kind of bridge between the physical world and planes of existence that most humans still cannot consciously access. The Arcturians would not be physical beings in the sense we are used to. They would operate mainly in higher vibrational frequencies, which would explain why only people with developed spiritual sensitivity would be able to perceive their presence. They are not warriors, nor explorers in the human sense of the word. The role attributed to them is one of healing, guidance, and support for the evolution of planets and civilizations that are still in the process of awakening. Earth would be, in this context, one of the central focuses of their attention right now. What makes this particularly striking is that the Arcturians are not a recent concept in spiritual literature. References to these beings go back decades, appearing in channeled texts, in the accounts of mediums and clairvoyants from different countries and traditions, and more recently in the testimonies of people who report contact experiences during meditation or altered states of consciousness. Researchers in the field of exopolitics, a term used to describe the political implications of extraterrestrial contact, have placed the Arcturians among the most frequently cited benevolent civilizations in human contact records. Their energy is consistently described as deeply compassionate, non-invasive, and oriented towards service, not to humanity alone, but to the universe as a whole. Some accounts go further and describe specific aspects of Arcturian civilization. Their society is said to be organized around what they call the Law of One, a principle in which the separation between individuals is understood as an illusion, and where the well-being of the collective is inseparable from the well-being of each being. They would have long transcended the need for physical resources as we know them, existing in a state that some describe as pure conscious energy. Their technology, if that word even applies, would not be built from metal and circuits, but would emerge from the direct manipulation of consciousness itself. And it is this technology, this mastery of energy and vibration, that would allow them to exist simultaneously in multiple dimensions, including the one we are in right now. And that is exactly why the idea of a docked ship does not sound absurd within this universe of discourse. According to accounts circulating in spiritual communities across different countries, this presence would already be established, even if invisible to most people. The moment of open revelation would not yet have arrived, not because these beings lack the ability, but because there would be a process underway, a careful preparation, so that humanity can receive this contact without entering into collective collapse. This brings us to one of the most interesting points of this subject. The spiritual awakening happening on the planet would not be isolated. It would be part of something much greater. There is an interpretation present in various traditions and channelings that no human being will be left behind in this process, that the awakening, even if gradual, will reach everyone, from the most skeptical to the most open-minded, from any culture, from any corner of the world, and that contact with civilizations from other galaxies would not be an event separate from human spirituality, but rather a natural stage of the planet's own evolution. It is worth pausing here for a moment, because this is a point that often gets lost in conversations about extraterrestrial contact. The assumption most people carry, shaped by decades of science fiction and cultural conditioning, is that this kind of contact would be a purely technological event. A spaceship lands, figures step out, cameras roll, governments scramble. But what is being described by those who claim proximity to this reality is something fundamentally different. The contact would not begin with a press conference. It would begin inside people, in the dreams they cannot explain, in the meditations that feel like meetings, in the sudden sense of being watched, not with menace, but with something closer to care. This process, however, would carry even greater weight when considering what is said to have happened elsewhere. There are mentions, in these circles, of planets that were unable to cross this moment of transition and went into collapse, not destroyed from the outside but undone from within. Civilizations that reached a critical point in their evolution and chose separation over unity, fear over opening, control over surrender. Earth would be facing a similar choice, and that is why certain teachings and a certain path to be followed collectively are considered so important, not as an imposition, but as a condition for the crossing to be successful. But when will all of this happen? That is the question everyone asks, and the answer that appears most often is, it is close, but it is not immediate yet. It will not be next year, as some voices insist on announcing. It will still be a few years away, and there is a reason for that. According to these accounts, these beings will not simply appear out of nowhere. There is a very precise plan for how this presentation will happen, for how the human mind will be gradually prepared to process a reality that, all at once, could simply be unbearable. Think about what it would mean for the majority of the world's population to suddenly, undeniably, witness the presence of an extraterrestrial civilization. Every belief system would be shaken. Every structure of meaning, religious, scientific, political, would face an immediate and radical challenge. History would have to be rewritten. The understanding of what it means to be human would shift overnight. This is not a small event. This is arguably the largest paradigm shift in the history of recorded civilization. And those who describe the Arcturian approach say precisely that. They know this, and they are not willing to rush it. And this preparation would already be underway. The sightings of lights, orbs, unidentified objects, and drones that have been increasing significantly in various parts of the world would not be random. According to this perspective, they would be a form of observation. These beings would be studying how humanity reacts, measuring the level of collective openness, evaluating whether the planet is ready. It would be a kind of dress rehearsal before the main event. And the fact that governments around the world have, in recent years, begun officially acknowledging the existence of unidentified aerial phenomena, something that would have been dismissed as fringe thinking just a decade ago, may itself be part of this gradual preparation. There is also one detail that appears frequently in these accounts and deserves attention. Part of this contact would already be happening, only on another layer of reality. Many of the abduction experiences reported around the world would happen during altered states of consciousness, during deep sleep, or what some traditions call spiritual unfolding, a state in which consciousness temporarily separates from the physical body and operates in a different dimension, as if a portion of humanity were already being prepared more directly, while the rest still moves toward this same opening by the slower path, not by coincidence, and not without purpose. What is clear, within this universe of ideas, is that a convergence is happening. Spirituality, science, sightings, personal experiences, and traditions from different cultures all seeming to point toward the same horizon. A moment in which humanity will find itself facing a reality it will no longer be able to ignore, deny, or postpone. A moment when everyone will see. And the question that remains, deep down, is very simple. When that moment arrives, what will you do with it? We have reached the point where every great conversation ends the same way, with more questions than answers. And perhaps that is exactly what makes this subject so impossible to ignore. Because deep down, no matter where you are in the world, what religion you practice, or how much skepticism you carry, there is one question that no one can answer with complete certainty. Are we alone? And if the answer is no, what does that change in everything you believe? If this video stirred anything inside you, whether curiosity, skepticism, recognition, or that strange feeling that you somehow already knew this, leave a comment below. I want to know what you think. I want to know whether you have ever had an experience that connects with what was said here. If you made it this far and have not subscribed to the channel yet, this is your sign. Hit the button, turn on the bell, because the next videos will keep diving deeper into these subjects in a way you will not find just anywhere. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it. Sometimes an idea arrives at the exact moment a person was waiting for it. Until the next video, and keep your eyes on the sky.